All right, we're kicking off the day with some Esper control. So what we have going on here is, again, we see a list that's pulled away from Chemist's Insight, and pulling away from Chemist's Insight makes a lot of sense. We have, because of Narset and Teferi, both make Chemist's Insight a little bit mediocre. We do have a couple of main deck Dovin's Veto. I think that's like okay-ish. Like, we have Oath of Kaya and Vraska's Contempt as ways to take opposing Teferis off the table, which is meaningful. We got a couple of Elder Spells post-board too, which makes the vetoes less embarrassing. I do like, if we're going to have some counter spells, having some vetoes as opposed to some absorbs. I like that this build at the top end has a couple of different ways to close the game out. So people have watched the stream a lot know I'm really high on Ugin, and the 2-2 split here is probably fine. Both of these close games out in different ways, and like not having to draw multiple of the same 6 drop is generally nice. Rian, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You should keep them around. Let's dive on into some matches here and see how this goes. So while I agree with you that cutting Absorb makes the red matchup worse, we have Oath of Kaya in our 75, which makes the red matchup better. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it's kind of a wash. In fact, you could probably argue that Oath of Kaya is better against the red deck than Absorb is. So it might even be a net improvement still for you.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
As much as I want to hit a land tier, I kind of want to hit another black source so that way I can cast Kaya's Wrath if we hit it. So I shocked in my black source here, so I can Tyrant Scorn. I guess it's actually an interesting question. Do I want to Tyrant Scorn the Knight, or do I want to Tyrant Scorn this? Because they played out a 2-drop pre-combat, I think I actually want to bounce the Gideon to gain a little bit of tempo back that way. This also pulls an extra power off of this, so I'm taking less damage that way as well. Hey, Lil Bappy, thanks for the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, this is kind of rough. Yeah, I don't, these have hexproof from white, so like neither of these line up well into it. So I think we're just dead, right? Because, like, my out is, like, Kaya's Wrath, but Kaya's Wrath doesn't kill the Vanguard and doesn't kill the Gideon. The Moment's really good here. Kills their Knight, kills their Adanto Vanguard. They're almost certainly a History of Benalia deck, right? Which makes, Kaya Orzhov Usurper good. Narset's probably a little bit mediocre. That's a good call. Cruelty kills Gideon. And I'm gonna trim these Mortifies. I like the suggestion on Cruelty. I don't know that they have enough Planeswalkers to make Elderspell good. Like, we know they have Gideon, they might have Sorin, but I'm not sure that's enough to bring these in. Maybe I like bring in one. Just like the first one's probably fine. Let's try that. Nixilis Cruelty also kills the Danto Vanguard, which is troublesome for us. Thanks, legit. And I mean, to be fair, to like be a little bit fair and balanced, while there wasn't content going on while we were maintaining viewers, nobody else could play games either, right? So it's not like we were doing nothing versus other people doing stuff. This hand needs a blue source, but it's got plenty of castable spells in the meantime, so I think it's a keep. What's the purpose of Ugin in our current deck? Ugin's just a really good magic card in general. Ugin's a card that generates card advantage with his uptick and answers random problem permanents with his downtick. So he's basically everything you want in a control deck. He's a source of continued card advantage while also fixing problems that might be resolved. Ugin both wins games when we're ready to be winning games and allows us to take over when we're behind. Ooh! There's a Fangs animation on the Moment of Craving. That's awesome. Haven't seen that one before. I like new shinies, chat. Yeah, so like the big problem with a card like Oath of Teferi is that it's a 5-mana card that doesn't impact the board the turn you play it. So it's kind of a tough sell in a lot of situations. The question you have to ask yourself with a card like Oath of Teferi is like, when is this card better than just like having another Planeswalker? So I'm gonna go ahead and cast the Nixilis Cruelty here. Obviously, I could Moment of Craving this, but playing this is more resource efficient, which I think is what I want to do this turn. Now, like, the downside here is they have a Gideon, and now, like, this doesn't kill Gideon or Mobilized District, so, like, maybe I end up in a little bit of trouble now. I don't know, I, like, have another one, and, like, they're pretty likely to play something else that Moment of Craving is going to be able to kill. Oh, I should have Cruelty'd in response here, right? Because now they get to give this lifelink.
I believe in you, friend.
They should be 3 lower. So even though Gideon is indestructible, giving something ---- does still finish it off. It's a decent pickup here. So they're either flooding or they've got a whole lot of nothing in their hand.
Together we can banish evil from this plane. Share in my light.
I would not be super surprised if we, like, play this Liliana and she gets, like, desparked here. I am getting extremely punished for my decision to use that first Cruelty instead of a Moment.
If I were you, I'd just surrender right now. Rise and shine.
I guess if they have a removal spell for this and they activate Mobilized District, they kill Liliana that way. So like if they have a way to kill this, she dies. If they just attack here and I get to block, this is pretty good for me. I get to Oathakaya next turn and knock the Gideon down to 3 so that way he can't just exile my Liliana.
How it is.
Liliana gonna generate some real card advantage for us here, which is nice.
Death is enlightening.
I can double Oath this Gideon now. That's pretty good. Makes their Mobilized District more expensive to activate. And it means we'll gain a little bit of life if they try and pressure the Liliana.
How disappointing.
I'm so confused. My opponent's play there was incredibly bad. Why would you just not just do that and attack me for 7? I'm so confused. So, I could Elderspell this. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and Elderspell this.
Curse the darkness.
There's like, there might be some merit to being resource efficient and just like playing both of these. Rexbox, I'd ask that you please don't criticize my opponents based on where we're playing. It's really elitist and just not welcome in my channel. Like, if you watch through the end of the fandom tournament yesterday, Yuza literally clicked through blocks, leaving himself dead because he messed up using the interface. Like, mistakes happen everywhere and to players of all caliber. Watch the weekly MPL matches. You'll see those players make plenty of mistakes there as well. I think playing Mobilized District and Green-Red Sarkhan is incredibly greedy and bad. I think the deck already struggles to cast its spells consistently, and if you wanted to play something like Mobilized District, you need to cut a spell for it, and I don't think you want to cut a spell for it. Mobilized District is a very good card. However, what's also good is being able to cast your spells on curve.
This is a prime day for justice.
And this is one of the things that's just like tough about playing this archetype right now is that like while Chemister's Insight is like kind of awkward in the face of Narset and Chemister's Insight's awkward in the face of like Narset and Teferi. Like, I really feel like these Esper decks just kind of run out of gas really quickly in a lot of these games.
Cleave the darkness.
And playing the Black-Red Aristocrats a ton, still a consideration for this thing. It is. My one worry is I'm not 100% certain how good the red aggro matchup is for the Aristocrats deck.
Retreat.
So hopefully we'll run into that a little bit today. That's true too. Maybe my mistake is trimming Narset. I could see that. It's tough, right? Like I have 2 Azcanta. I have 2 Azcanta. I have 2 Azcanta, 3 Teferi, 2 Ugin, and 2 Liliana as card advantage. Like I have like 10-ish sources of card advantage, but maybe that's still just not enough. I don't know why, but if you register at IT Mountains, I'll die a little inside. I am not playing Mono Red tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the matchup's just close, dude. Light. It's a good drop. Yeah, We've definitely stabilized at this point. Azcanta's gonna take the game and run away with it. What are your thoughts on Kiora in the place of Paradise Druid or Chandra and Green-Red Sarkhan? Well, Beard, I'd encourage you to look at the iteration of Green-Red Sarkhan that you can find on my website right now. The iteration of Green Red Sarkhan on my website does not have Chandra or Paradise Druid in it. Yeah, tomorrow is the first arena MCQ. Ooh, that's a good one to take. And that's a great one to have on top. Wow, I can actually Azcanta and cast that, can't I? Do I have exactly enough?
Sorry I'm late. We need to move quickly.
Yeah, I could see Bantu being good there. It's possible I should test 2 Bantus in my demon slots.
Time for plan B, as soon as I think of one.
Yeah, I'm not streaming the tournament live tomorrow, however, I do plan to put it up on my YouTube channel. Assuming my matches aren't just me getting dumpstered by Mono Red, I'm gonna put them up on YouTube after. How was that? That's a good one. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Am I supposed to leave some Narset in this matchup? How is this crazy? How good is Kaya's Wrath in this matchup? Like, it doesn't kill Gideon, it doesn't kill Adanto Vanguard, it doesn't kill Mobilized District. Is it crazy to not have all of these in my deck? I'm gonna put all my Thought Erasures in on the draw. Well, Despark doesn't hit Gideon. Kaya gains us life and she's good against History of Benelia. Maybe that means she's not good enough. Hey, maybe I leave 2 Wraths in instead of the 2 Kayas, because like Wrath is also good against History. Let's do that. Let's do that. This is in the range of keepable. Teferi Time Raveler here is sweet because he picks Oath of Kaya back up, which is nice. Hopefully they have Knight of Malice and not Knight of Grace here. Perfect. Opponent playing black-white, black-white killed gates over there. This is not the Esper control I grew up knowing. I've hit all my land drops that have all my colors. What's going on? I don't understand. I'm scared. It's dark and I'm afraid. They have an Adanto here too. We're in trouble. Just double Land of Grace. Alright, well, this is definitely a board state that makes me happy. I left 2 Kaya's Wraths in. Yep. Probably losing Liliana here, I'd assume. My other cards don't interact with their knights. Is there an argument for trading Oath since it doesn't hit either knight? Yeah, maybe. Maybe Oath is worse than Wrath.
Time will tell.
Hey, look, a distraction.
If you show remorse, hurry!
All right. I think maxing on dragons is better than playing Nissa, Cajun guy.
Stop that. Now.
Stop that.
We will meet again.
Good lord. Alright, 2 shots of Kaya's Wrath. Well. We're dead, right?
My army will envelop this world.
Oh, geez. Liliana gives the Knights of Grace extra points of power. We're actually just dead, right? Because this is 15, 19. Yeah. Alright. Should have left more Kaya's Wraths in, I guess. And that's just like the guessing game with these decks, right? That makes Esper control a really tough sell in this format. Is that like with all of these planeswalkers in the format, you're really just like crossing your fingers and hoping your interaction lines up well. And like there's games against decks like my opponents where Kaya's Wrath's the best card in our deck. It's the only card we want to draw. And then there's games where it just doesn't do anything and we die. Chat, they had a Mobilized District. We were dead on board. Well, let's see, he has a curve. 2, 3, 4. Morning prep. Looks like white aggro with the Pride Mage sub theme. These Knight of Graces just won't leave us alone, chat. Why are they so mean? Why are they so mean? Oh, geez, this makes the night bigger. I want to kill this, so that way if I hit Kaya's Wrath, the board goes fully clear. I mean, Underplix, it's just the same thing I've been talking about this entire day. It's all about guessing and choosing. In some situations, Kaya's Wrath is much, much better. In other situations, Cry of the Canarium is much, much better. What you're doing with these control decks is like you're taking your bag full of answers and like shaking it up and going, I really hope whatever falls out of here lines up well into what the opponent's doing.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
Yeah, protecting the Healer Hawk as opposed to the 3-2 seems a little suspect there. And again, like, games like this, where my cards just, like, line up incredibly well into what my opponent's doing, they, like, just don't seem fair, basically. Like, I'm just really far ahead of them in every measurable metric because my cards lined up well this time.
Lies beyond vision.
Othakaya now successfully gained 7 life this game.
My worst defeat.
Yeah, I'm aware, Limb Nursery. So here's the thing you need to understand for people that are new to digital magic. The only thing the chess clocks in this application prevent or help is people looping Nexus for 2 hours. 30 minutes of chess clock time is an eternity for a match. No reasonable match other than someone looping indefinitely is going to get anywhere close to hitting that time limit. There's a 2-mana Planeswalker. Oh, that's exciting. My body is ready for it to bolt. That's kind of sweet. There you go. Already got the link. To set a bar that's low, that's better than Tibalt. Probably want my moments. They're likely in a Danto Vanguard deck. I wonder if I'm actually supposed to trim Time Raveler in this matchup, as opposed to Narset, who generates card advantage for us. Because, like, this generates tempo, but, like, its static text isn't very good. No, the turn timer is also still there. Bringing all the removal on the draw. Opponent decided they didn't want to play Magic anymore. How we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. If you're new, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you're someone who enjoys constructed best of 3, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks. All those deck names you see listed in the stream title are the decks I plan to play today in the order in which I plan to play them. If you're ever interested in seeing what those lists look like before we get to them, be sure to check out the deck queue on my website at magicesports.net. I'd also like to give a shout out to all my wonderful subs out there. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks for all of them for keeping me employed. Take a quick moment to plug a couple of my sponsors really quick as well. The Vitamin String Quartet creates unique instrumental string arrangements of everything from Zelda to Zeppelin. They would love to underscore your next gaming session, and you can stream them now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. InkedGaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they have on their website. And of course, Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards directed to the players. There's no haggling, and they just take a 1% fee off the top. Quinn Toxic Command coming in hot with the 2-month 3 sub. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Heading on into our third match here with Esper Control. See if we can dodge our nemesis Knight of Grace in this one. Turn to Thought Erasure. Are we doing it? Is this what doing it feels like? I think this is what doing it feels like. I think our matchup against these Bant decks tends to be pretty good on average. I'll leave the Time Raveler there because he'll get to bounce their Incubation Druid next turn, especially on the play with the Thought Erasure. Feels like we're really solidly ahead here.
This isn't a fight you can win. That's more like it.
Those are not places I've reached out to before God of Flesh. I actually have one of the advertising companies that I work with. I actually have I think it's 3 new campaigns lined up that are going to be rolling out over the next month and a half to 2 months. So, that was a misclick. I was talking and clicking at the same time. Well, now I don't have an answer to this Lyra. Yikes! I meant to oath the Kaya there. But here we are.
Here we go.
We're fine. I'm gonna bounce this, and then like next turn if they replay the Lyra, I can oath it plus bounce the oath, replay the oath. So like still in a pretty okay spot. Less okay. Since I've drawn nothing but lands, might get punished for a mistake or misclick. Ooh, that's a good one. And our answers lining up awkward here is definitely on me, right? Like, if I'd have had a Mortify for the Lyra, I'd have had a Tyrant Scorn for the Krasis. Yeah, Liliana is definitely a card that can drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. She is incredibly powerful.
This isn't your average zombie. I do love a good death wail.
I'll protect you.
Is Liliana the best Planeswalker for playable cards right now? Now, I'd argue she's still competing with, like, 5 mana Teferi and 6 mana Ugin. Or, there are a lot of just, like, good card-for-card, high-quality cards. Our one piece of non-foil shame right here. This island. Alright, so I want to cast this in a way that lets me cast Kaya's Wrath when I draw it like a professional. So I have black, black, white, white.
Let's slow this down. Hold that thought.
Maybe I'm supposed to tuck Lyra with Teferi here. I can see that being reasonable. We've drawn, like, we've had 11 lands and 18 cards. We're, like, still in this game, which is nice. I don't know. We're still in, like, a fine spot here.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
They were a lousy servant anyway. This looks like a fun new toy.
This might be a bad idea.
This might be a little aggressive.
March into battle
Lets us draw a card though too, which is nice.
Never hurt anyone. I'll fight
Like gets the board solidly clear. Because I'd rather they have to replay the Lyra chat. I'm basically just trying to tread water here until I get to a point. Wow, that's good for me. Until I get to a point where I can draw a Kaya's Wrath.
again.
Yeah. It's all about tempo at this point. This is gonna get Frilled Mystic, I assume. And then I'm gonna play Teferi, tuck this, down tick Liliana. This is an incredibly bold deputy. Now I can start with this and try and hit Kaya's Wrath.
My prowess is on meditate and prepare.
Alright. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do. These Esper decks are one of the many reasons why the Bant decks have just been pushed out of the format. These Hydroid Crisis Bant decks just can't keep up with what this deck is doing. Narset locks them out really hard. I even punted that game a little bit. It just ended up not mattering. Othakai is not particularly good here. I guess they have Little Tef and 3-mana Vivian. That's probably not enough reason to bring an Elderspell. Yeah, I think Cruelty's fine. Kills their Angels. Their Deputy should theoretically be coming out against me. This kills like big Hydroid Crisis too, though, which is nice. Yeah, if they had like high impact planeswalkers, I'd bring in at least one, I think, Pikes, but they really don't, right? Like 3-mana Teferi and 3-mana Vivian are like not cards I'm super concerned about. Looking for that black source. Shiggity schwooty, we coming for that booty. Get him. Get him. To erase some thoughts into a Narset here. Hey, Guy Fireball. Thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's just a great way to think about it, Pike. Like, and it's such a good commentary on how metagames work, right? Like, the Bant deck is still doing the same power level things, but the things that are good in the format have changed, which have caused the Bant deck overall to become worse.
I train Esper to hone your prowess.
And now, unfortunately, they're going to be able to kill my Planeswalker and deploy a second threat here, which means I'm not going to be able to really keep the board clear. We're going to kind of struggle to keep up.
Overwhelming.
Crisis, really? Okay. Bant plus Maximum Efficient seems to do well enough. I mean, that's not even true, dopies. Like, there hasn't been a tournament weekend where that deck's put up any sort of results, right? Unless I missed something. Like, are there like large MCQs where that deck's doing well that I missed? Yep, always a sub Discord. Hey, Genesis, thanks for the 8 months. Welcome back. Yeah, so like, this is the thing. The fandom tournament is basically like F&M. I get that, like, there's MPL players in it too, and, like, a lot of people who play a lot of Magic, but that's very different than, like, a 200-player open entry tournament, or, like, a 500-player tournament, or even, like, the 60-player, like, Twitch Rivals, or, like, the Mythic Championship, right? Like, doing well in a field with 16 people is, like, not that tall of an order. And, like, these smaller tournaments that are shorter allow there to be more chances for decks to hit good variants on their run. Yeah, or the MPL Weekly. That's also a good example of, like, an event that's going to be, like... Yuza literally said on Twitter that Mono Red was better, but he was streaming, so he wanted to give the people what they wanted. Yeah, exactly, right? And, like, there's people playing for a purely entertainment reasons, too. I mean, like, even the fandom people know that their tournament's, like, not intended to be super competitive, right? Like, when I expressed concern when I dropped out of their second event about competitive integrity, they were like, well, our focus isn't to be a hyper-competitive thing. And I was like, all right, sure. That was their reasoning for going to no delay, was their goal wasn't to be hyper-competitive. So, like, they're aware of that. It's an entertainment thing, right? Like most Magic. Smells like Frilled Mystic. Alright, one Kaya's Wrath, please. Yeah, exactly, Limb Nursery. There's nothing wrong with structuring something similar to a tournament for a purely entertainment factor. In fact, as someone who's done both the streaming with the competitive focus and streaming with the entertainment factor in mind, streaming with the focus on entertainment is much more successful and popular. Turn 2 search on the play is, like, kind of hard to pass up. If they have, like, a Night of Autumn and I brick off a little bit, we might be in trouble, but... No ramp dork on 2 here's real good for us. I'm conceding. Honestly, conceding to Wrath on 4 seems like a fine place to be. I don't think Esper is that good.
Wild animals I like. Starting over's the only way.
Nah, not at all, Deerlick. Every time you try and get cute in metagame something like that, you end up being sad in my experience. Just play decks that are good.
I've seen worse.
And even decks like Black-White Angels and decks that are, like, really good against mono-red, the red aggro decks in this format are just so unbelievably good that even the decks that are really good against them probably still lose 40+% of the time. Like, Experimental Frenzy is a jacked up Magic the Gathering card.
Excellent timing. I've got time.
I would be incredibly surprised if there's anything in this format that's better than 60% against mono red.
I won't. You know what? I'm not done yet. No, I am not making this up as I go.
Alright, well, they tapped too many mana. My mistake there. If we hit a land, we get to Ugin the Prison Realm and then get our Teferi back.
It's only a matter of time.
Alright. Let's take a look at what's going on up here. Huh? I think I'm gonna take Fried Mystic here. Now I'm gonna take Veto because it's easier to hold up. And then we get to play Narset to lock them out of crisis.
Those who cannot do with thoughtfulness before action.
Now I really don't want to take both and then have them like untap, draw a land, play crisis for 4.
Don't worry.
That seems like a bad exchange for me. So this will get Frilled Mystics. I'm going to leave this on 3 so it doesn't die to the Land War Elves. Because I don't want these drawing cards.
This might be a bad idea.
Just wait a moment.
Hey, Basic Land. Thanks for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
I am ancient and wise. Your past is unwritten.
You need to slow down.
I guess this lets them kill 2 of my Planeswalkers. Maybe I'm just supposed to slide this up. Yeah, it's probable that I'm supposed to slide this up. This does take their entire turn, though. And I get to Time Raveler bounce this next turn, which is nice.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2. I am not going to sit this one out. Here we go.
Just continue to leave Narset in play as a hate piece for these creases. Hey, welcome back, Squeed. Thanks for the 17 months. Yep.
Now what?
Well, I was gonna say, now I kind of want to impulse for Akaya's Wrath, but here we are, your move. As you will.
I can no longer stand by and watch. I'll protect you.
I do hope you make this battle more useful in the grave.
This might be a little aggressive, but I don't really want to make a token and then, like, have them fart the Incubation Druid, bounce my thing, kill my Narset. So, like, next turn I can start pumping out tokens and I can Contempt something.
I've got it.
That was an incredible draw.
I really should have seen that coming.
Putrid, but Effective.
Well, they can't just down tick to draw a card because I have Narset out, Pokemon Nerd. So Narset makes that worse. I think it's time to cash this in.
Keep an open mind.
Yep. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do.
Good health is easy to find in war.
That's true. That's true. We're above 2,000 viewers, which means Watsy hits the streamer luck button for us. Puts us in a little bit better spot.
Secrets manifest before.
Get out of my way.
Oh, I guess because I lose the Liliana, I don't draw a card off of this, but like getting Teferi here means it's probably fine.
Right. Keep up the pace. You show remorse. I'll show you. Trust me. I have a plan.
Alright, drawing 3 cards a turn. Let's go. Teferi, colorless, large Teferi. Someone asked how I feel about this deck in general. It's okay. I think the fact that Chemist's Insight's been kind of pushed into a bad spot in the format kind of hurts this deck more than it helps it overall. And if your tools line up well into what your opponent has going on, you can have a reasonable shot. I think you're like okay against the red decks. You're really good against the Bant decks. The problem is the Bant decks have kind of gotten pushed out of the format overall. I keep this on the play. Not really, Phenom. I think the big thing the Bant decks could prey on in this format was the Nexus decks. Those have gotten largely pushed out by Baby Teferi. If you asked me to pick top 3 decks right now, I'd say Jeskai Friends, Mono Red, and the Command the Dreadhorde deck. Just like a good amount of variety, right? A lot of different things going on in that list of things. And the four color Dreadhorde deck's really sweet as far as mid-range decks go. We're gonna play that one up next here. Yep, yeah, the modern decks on my website are kept up to date, Spoonie. This matchup is probably hard for us without Cry of the Canarium in our 75. Which again, just goes back to like, well, we're kind of just hoping our answers line up well into what the opponent has going on. Will we be playing ranked today? Yeah, I'm probably going to play ranked with 4-color Dreadhorde and black-red Aristocrats and green-red Sorkin. This one, Esper, Aggro, and blue-green Vow are probably going to stay in the unranked section. Ideally, I'd like to try and finish in the top 1,000 this month to get that locked up for right away. I think we're like 500 or 600 something we finished yesterday. I don't remember exactly. The list we're playing has Elderspells in it, Brewski. And Duress, I believe. Oh, you want to play them in the main deck? I don't think so. Yeah, what you get for finishing in the top whatever is always an MCQ invite. Well, Ugin's dead. So, I'm actually going to play Narset and just pass here. Because so much of their deck draws cards, and, like, I don't want her to just die to a lightning strike. That's pretty good. Oh, they're bringing the bird back. Got it. Nope, they're not.
I have reached my limit.
The glowing red no kind of sustains me. Gosh, their hand is good. I think I'm actually taking Finale of Promise here. Otherwise, it gets the bird back all on its own.
I require servants. Your corpse will offer battle to the grave.
That's so brutal.
Death news. Time to go.
Alright, I've got a couple of Cruelties and a couple of Desparks, so maybe that helps keep us in versus what they have going on. Kaya's decent here too, I suppose. Oath of Kaya's not stellar. Thought Eraser's like kind of okay. I think I'd rather have the discard than the vetoes. Probably leave Mortify in for killing Drakes. This seems fine. Like, they had main deck Ral. I guess they have Ral and Saheeli. Do I want an Elderspell? Maybe I do. Tyrant Scorn isn't particularly good here, right? This kills Phoenixes and gains us some life. Alright, let's do this. Morning Wizard. This is fine. Missing a blue for Narset, but it's got a search on too, which is nice. Hopefully helps us smooth this out and get cast it on time. Perfect. Pierce me, daddy. Pierce me. Yes, you know just how I like it. Again, just not gonna downtick this right now. Would prefer to shut off a significant portion of their deck by just like not doing anything. Have you considered adding a win-loss tag to the stream for a deck you're playing? Nope, because win-loss tags are irrelevant. The volume of games you need. Win-loss tags for a stream encourage people to draw bad conclusions from small data sets. And we know they have Lightning Strike in their deck, so I don't think there's any reason to downtick this aggressively. Sure.
I must stay focused.
Since this is dead to Lightning Strike anyways, I'm gonna downtick this now. This means it dies to another shock, but I think I'm okay with that. Scryed top. I assume this Narset is dead. Really? They kept a card on top that doesn't kill Narset. That's weird. Yeah, I think you have to keep strikes in against any deck with Narset. Black-red Aristocrats and green-red Sarkin are my two picks for these are decks I enjoy playing that also feel really competitive. You can find my preferred iterations for both those lists on my website. This Mobilized District is going the distance. It's going ball speed. It's all alone. In the time of need, it's racing and pacing and plotting the goals. I just live for the glowing red no. The glowing red no sustains me, chat. Keeps me going.
Your corpse will make an excellent minion.
Click submit. This hand can't kill an Electromancer on 2, but it's got like Cruelty and Narset in it, so I think it's definitely a keep. Despark's an okay pickup if they have a fast Phoenix. Yeah, I agree, Zach. Their scry top there seems super suspect. Yeah, I don't know if we're favored in this matchup in general, but I think waited there for them to blink, so that way I couldn't get Spell Pierce while killing their Electromancer.
Right on schedule. Let's try this.
This is like really good against us, huh? I don't really have a good way to keep that off the board. Yeah, it's basically Thought Erasure, right? Land's a good draw here because it lets me Despark plus play Search. And, like, they do have to keep redrawing it. So, like, it's not... as long as I kill it, it's not technically card advantage for them. It's just annoying. It's just a repeatable threat. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him.
If you wish to surrender now, I understand.
Hi, Felicia. Alright, a land lets us Liliana, which would be great. Lets us start closing the game out. That one, also great.
This isn't a
Rapidly approaching garbage time here. Again, choosing to not use my Narset because I don't want her to die to a lightning strike. A significant portion of my opponent's deck just doesn't work while Narset's in play.
Warrior Queen Necromancer has a nice ring to
We need to move.
Yeah, I agree, Bob. It's like mostly doesn't do anything. It's had plenty of card advantage, so we just keep killing it like again and again and again.
rise.
Yep. I can Elderspell and ult the Teferi, actually, right?
Meditate and prepare. I must train harder.
I don't do this lightly.
Am I misremembering what Liliana's ultimate does? I thought that, like, just kills a bunch of their lands. Right? Chooses a permanent of each champion, sacrifices the rest. Yeah, it would just kill their lands. Stop it, Twitch chat. Stop it. Alright, let's play one more with Esper here. So we can finish 4-1 or 3-2. Not quite looking for her yet. Basic mountain, no plays. What are you doing? What's going on? Ugh. Yikes. This is like all bad for us, huh? Like if I don't take the Daredevil, I get Thought Erasure back. I think I have to take the Daredevil, right? I guess this guarantees I hit 5 lands in 5 turns, huh? Greed. It's greed. How do you feel about greed, chat? I'm a big fan of greed. Look at that. Our plan's working out just how we drew it up.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Hardly my worst defeat. Hi, friends.
I know my responsibility, not so fast.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, little phoenix. Do do do. Wow, that sucks for us.
We'll meet again.
Yikes. I was not gonna be upset if they like killed it with a shock, but like Chain Boy coming down is rough. I think I'm gonna Narset plus Mortify here.
There are so many myths to hone your prowess.
Ooh. Ooh, that's good.
Contain your rage.
Good golly. These green-red decks are just so good against Esper. Woof. Woof. Yeah, the threats are super resilient. Yeah, in my experience, Leereg's just like much worse than playing a variety of other things like any other piece of top end in the opponent's deck. At least they're pretty. Look at their full art, chat. They're so pretty. Hey, thanks Rose for the 313 sub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, Despark's good, Cruelty's good, Mortify's good, Kaya's Wrath's good. Veto, not so much. Time Raveler's pretty mediocre against their goblin friend. Yeah, where's my streamer luck? Can I get a refund on my streamer luck? It's not quite working out for me. Oh, is it 2,500 viewers? I thought it was 2,000. You're right. Maybe it's 2,500 viewers for the streamer luck to turn on. You might be right. What's going on, Prince Day? We played Goryo's Goryo Pig, and it was actually pretty sweet. There really isn't, Be Rich. It's really not good. Oh, Bulletproof Pope. That's true. I do have Twitch chat as an incredibly unfair competitive advantage. Ugh. The green-red deck's not supposed to get to Thought Erasure me, chat. You always see deck lists for upcoming decks in the deck queue on my website. I think I'm actually just contempting this to keep my health total high and use my mana. This also works to fill my graveyard up to flip my search for Azcanta sooner. Our sleeves are anime Narset. How do I ever beat a Growth Chamber Guardian? I mean, if I hold up Contempt, I then don't get to use my mana. They still cast the Growth Chamber Guardian. And they add more pressure to the table. I just die very quickly. And they just, like, don't activate it, and they go back to their turn and play a 6th land. Oh my gosh. Please stop. Mercy. Mercy. Oh no. Tortilla and Beans, thank you for the $5. Thank you for the $5 tip. Ooh. I've been out of the Magic scene for a while. I was wondering if you can explain what's going on in Modern to me. I'm a Tron player, and here there's a new list taking over. That's gross. I actually don't think the 4-mana Karn is very good in Tron. Modern... Depending on, if you haven't played Modern since Green-Red Tron was a thing, the big difference between then and now is Modern is incredibly linear and not interactive compared to what it was back when Green-Red Tron was a thing. Direfleet Daredevil is very good against Esper. Esper's just not a very popular deck. Esper's kind of fallen off the map. The green-red aggro decks, like what my opponents are playing right now, have like always been good against Esper control.
I really should have seen that coming.
I think 4-mana Karn is reasonable in Amulet Titan, because Amulet Titan is often in situations where it has 4 mana but not 6. To be fair, putting better cards into Eldrazi is easy because Eldrazi always had a pile of bad cards in it. So like when your deck has a bunch of terrible cards in it, it's easier to get upgrades for it. Yes, it's a threat and a threat-like deck that gets found off stories. Completely agree. I was gonna try and protect Teferi here, so hopefully we can draw a Wrath next turn. Hey, Nicole. Thank you for the 12 months of support. Have a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, they attacked everything at Teferi. Deal. Let's draw Kaya's Wrath.
I suppose that's how it was meant to happen.
Esper. I don't really know where I sit on Esper control in this format. I feel like there's enough decks in the format where you have a really hard time keeping up. Like, between your counterspells just getting worse with little Teferi being everywhere, and then random things like green-red aggro just being a bad matchup while still existing in the format because they're good against mono-red and other things that exist. Yeah, I think a deck that's a little bit more proactive focused, like the Planeswalker deck, is probably a better spot to be, like what we saw. Like what we saw at top 8, the last SCG Open in the hands of Oliver. So, that's probably where I'd rather be, as opposed to this more like closer to the traditional Esper control from last season. I think this comes up a little bit short. Grixis did better than Esper control at SCG last weekend. I mean, we don't have those metrics, Pizza, so you can't really... Don't talk about the performance of decks, because you just don't know. It's real silly to